Okay, hi everybody. So we're going to talk about spss session 3 today. And this session will be focused on the chapter 3 materials that we have gone through in the PowerPoints. Basically, it's about the central tendency and as well as the spread of the data, the descriptive stats. So over here we have two sets of data, which is one is x, one is y. The x variable runs from 67 to 73. Y variable runs from 2 to 23. So the 23 here is relatively big than the rest of the data values. We will expect this to be an outlier. Let's see how do we use the SPSS to compute the descriptive stats, as well as how do we use the descriptive stats to get box plots. So in general, there's one way for us to do everything very easily, which is go analyze, and then descriptive stats, and we're going to use the function explore. So let's take variable y for example. Okay, so we're going to move y over, and then we're going to look at the stats. By default, you have descriptives checked. Okay, it will give you a bunch of descriptive statistics such as the mean and standard deviation, those ones. Outlier, we don't have to have it because sometimes we can see that from the box plot. Continue. And as for the plots, you have stem and leaf checked by default. If you're not really interested in stem and leaf plot, you can uncheck it. Histogram is what we need for quantitative data. So continue. In terms of the actual display, you have two options. You can know both the stats, which is represented by use numbers, as well as the plots. So I'm checking both. But if you are only interested in the plots, you can just check plots. Hit OK. Okay, so that was what comes up as the output. You can see on the top, explore shows what function we have used. This is the variable y, and there are 7 data values being simply processed. And we have the mean, which is 8.86, and median here is 7.0. Variance is at 51.81. Standard deviation is 7.198. It's worth noting that these standard deviation and variance are considered as the standard deviation of the samples and variance of the sample. Min and max has been listed as 2 and 23. Range is 21. Okay, which is the difference between 23 and 2. We also have the histogram being shown over here. You can see if you sketch a curve, it sort of curve is going towards the right. So I'm going to say this is right skewed or positively skewed. The next one gives us the box plot. Okay, so as we have said, the box plots have 5 parts. One is the 2 ends. Okay, this represents the lowest. This is the highest, not considering the outlier. This is the first quartile, which is 25th percentile, and this is the second quartile, same as the median, and the third quartile. So we do have the lowest, as shown here. The minimum is 2. That's the lowest. And this is the first quartile. And here's the median, second quartile. Second quartile as the median is approximately 7.0. And this is the highest, not considering the outlier. So it's approximately positive 12. Here you have a circled, which indicates that the outlier, okay, and it's going to be the extremely big value. That's 23 as the 7th data value. So it tells you it's the 7th data value. So if you look at 7th data value, it's 23. Okay. All right, so that's for the first data set, and we have used explore. But you probably have noticed that if you're interested in the mode, it doesn't give you the mode. Okay, it only tells you the mean, median, standard deviation, and variance, but doesn't have the mode. So if you want to find a mode, we can still do that. The way we do it is you go analyze, descriptive statistics, and we go frequencies. So if you move the y over, there is a function for statistics. It gives you lots of options for the statistics you want. So we have got a mean and a median. So if you still want those two, you can check those. This is for central tendency, so mean, median, and a mode. And here's for spread, standard deviation, variance, range, minimum, and a maximum. And it also gives you a more variety of the percentile values, such as the quartiles. So let's hit continue. And over here you can do charts. Since these are quantitative, we pick histogram, continue, and hit OK. So this one you will give you the mean and the median the same, and it will give you mode 2, okay? Also, it tells you multiple modes exist. The smallest value is shown. So let's look at the data value here. And actually, if we look at here, we can see the mode is actually 2 as a mode because it appeared twice. 7 also appeared twice. So this is actually bimodal, right? Bimodal. SPSS has to the SPSS has to draw back of showing only one mode, even though there are 2 modes, right? Bimodal case. But histogram is the same. All right, so we have talked about using explore functions to give you most of the descriptive stats as well as the box plot. And let's just try this one on the other variable x. Okay, so x is 67 to 73. And we can see this is the lowest, this is the highest, this is going to be median, right? And quartile is going to be the first one. So let's see, analyze, descriptive stats, explore. Let's just do that one more time on variable x. So stats, check descriptive stats, hit continue. For the plots, uncheck stem and leaf. It's not very useful here. Histogram, continue, and hit OK. Actually, each one of those variables has a frequency 1. So that's a uniform distribution, actually. And this is the box plot, right? You can see the lowest is 67, highest is 73, median is 70. Okay. First quartile is 68, and third quartile is 72. Remember, this is first quartile, this second quartile, and that's the third quartile. Okay. As we have mentioned before, you can also do analyze descriptive stats, frequencies, and move x over, do statistics, and choose mean, median, mode, standard deviation, variance, range, minimum, max, and quartile. Hit OK, continue, and charts, make sure a histogram has been checked, and go OK. So that gives you the same histogram without box plot. Okay. We do see that every data value has the same frequency as one. So again, this mode thing comes up again. Multiple modes exist. The smallest value is shown. All right, so that's also consistent to what we see in the data values. Now here one more time, it gives you percentile. This is the first quartile, second quartile, and third quartile. Okay, third quartile. Which is consistent to with what we have here, right? All right, so that's what we have for the SPSS session 3, and you can use what we have talked about here to do your SPSS assignment 3. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.